I kept being like, I'm gonna do my makeup and then film a video, and tonight I even planning on filming a video with makeup on. But, then I worked, and it just doesn't look right after you work. My sister's dog is here. I'm actually currently waiting on my sister and her friend to get here, possibly friends. And we're going to have like a girls' night, and it is currently dark outside because it gets dark hella early now. I mean, it is like 8 o'clock, so it would normally be dark. But yes, if you guys are new here, my name's Maddie. If you're not new, hey girl, hey sis. Even though most of my viewers are boys, so hey dude. So I have a podcast where I do talk about mental health and stuff. They used to be Tuesday Talks here on my YouTube channel. And I was thinking about putting this there, but I think that it would get more outreach to people who need it on here. And I feel like even if this doesn't like pertain to you in any way, it still is like interesting because a lot of people have actually asked me about it in real life. So this isn't something I've necessarily like talked about either. I doubt any of you know this happened. So first and foremost, I was abused. I have 3 mental illnesses, anxiety, depression, and PTSD. I have been diagnosed. I take medication. I'm in trauma therapy right now. I've been in therapy for the past 5.5 years. It's all very real. I promise you. I sometimes wish it wasn't, but it is. So, I'm going to be telling y'all like a story time / my experience going inpatient and the whole process both times. I almost actually went inpatient 3 times, but it's just been twice. So we're just going to start with the first one. I remember how old I was for these, you guys. That's the thing. Right after I told, and when a lot of these things have happened, I have been so stressed and so upset for such a long period of time during them that I don't always quite remember all the details correctly. I do remember actually being in there, but I don't remember how old I was. I want to say that I was 15 when I went the first time. And this is going to be my point of view. I think it would be really interesting to sit down with my parents one day and kind of get their point of view and how they felt about the situation. So I believe I was 15 and I went to my parents. Also, both times I was hospitalized, it was in February. So the holidays are a very hard time for me. I do have seasonal depression surrounding Thanksgiving and like Christmas, and I really don't like the holidays, which is very sad. And why I don't is a combination of being abused severely during the school breaks of Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I was almost like really salty. I feel like that's such a bad word to use there, but like really angry around the holidays about what was happening to me and the fact that I didn't get to really like enjoy being a kid. I don't know. I just at those times felt like life was very unfair. So holidays aren't my favorite. We're trying to like them, but there's a lot of like anxiety. And so I was 15. I went into my parents' room and I told them that I wanted to kill myself. I'd already been diagnosed with my mental illnesses. I was being medicated and I was in therapy, and my parents were like, okay, do you want to spend the night in our bed? Like, should we deal with it in the morning? And I remember just telling them, like, I don't want to hurt myself severely while y'all are watching me. You're such a good, like, little emotional support dog. Can you tell I'm a little sad, a little upset right now? Oh, thank you, sweet girl. Oh, yes. How can you say no to puppy love? Like, I know she's so distracting. Oh. I love you. You're so sweet. So, okay, yeah. I just was like, I think I need help. And this is something, like, most people think when someone wants to kill themselves, they already have, like, gun in hand and all that. There's normally, for me anyway, there's been a point where I'm like, I want to kill myself, but I don't want to, if that makes sense. Like, I want to escape this pain and hurting, and I need help. And that's something mental health hospitals, like where you're hospitalized, are meant to provide you with that break, which is really great. So I went to them and I'm like, I need some help. Like I wasn't even thinking maybe necessarily like inpatient. I don't know. I just wanted to kill myself very badly at this moment. It was just like a feeling of defeat and just such bad pain, like emotionally and physically. Like I felt sick to my stomach, my chest hurt, like I just had enough. So my parents ended up calling the suicide prevention hotline. I will put the number on the screen as well as in the description. It is a real thing. It is helpful. And my mom just said, and this is where they learned these very important steps. If someone comes to you and says, I want to hurt myself, it is important to ask them if they have a plan. And then if they are willing to get help. Obviously at this point I was a minor, and I was very clearly stating I need help. So the thought of going inpatient very much scared me, and I ended up like kind of freaking out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, it was something new and very scary. So the hotline told my parents to take me to the ER and have me evaluated, and that they would decide from there. Which I guess is like standard. The second time my parents were able to, since they knew the system, just call mental hospitals and see if they had beds available and what like ages they took. So they took me to the ER, I was evaluated, and I remember in the ER I just was like, they're gonna save me. Because it's almost like saving me from myself. Now, not everyone that feels suicidal is going to have these feelings. I want to say that as well. And I slept so good that night. I don't even know how long we were there. And then in the morning, or I think it was morning, I don't even remember. They told me that they were going to be transferring me to this mental hospital. My parents could drive me down, but that they did actually have to take me there. I think there might have been a legal thing at this point, but my parents were in charge of me going. Like, I did not have a say-so at that point. And there were some girls in the mental health hospital that, like, did not want to be there, but you don't have a say-so at that point. You are a minor, your parents are making the choice for you. But they won't just admit you, like, willy-nilly. So they drove me down, and I was, like, immediately admitted, and my stay started. So it was a week long, which is pretty typical. First and foremost, what I could pack. I'm sure you're interested in that. What can you pack on your vacation to the mental health hospital? You cannot have bras with underwire. Hi, baby. You can't have shoes with shoelaces, pants with drawstrings. You are not allowed to bring in any type of soap or toothbrush. They provide you with that. You can bring a hairbrush. Are you a parakeet? Are you a bird? So that's first and foremost. So the first time we didn't know, I think my mom packed my bag. I don't even remember. A lot of my stuff was like confiscated, meaning they like let me unpack everything into my room for the most part, and then like the stuff I couldn't have, they put in my bag and like locked away in another room. At the one I stayed at, both times it was the same one because I was a minor, and it's the closest one for minors next to us. It's 2 beds to a room. You get 1 pillow and 1 blanket. That's it. And then you get a little dresser that is bolted to the wall. At night, you sleep with the door open. The lights in the hallway are on. And something that's really interesting is the nurses that work there document what you were doing every 15 minutes, morning and night. So if you're awake, they're going to document it, all that stuff. I slept so good both times I went. Like, the lights being on, hearing people talk, like, I just felt so comforted. Yes, Mia. Hi. Go get your rope. Go get your rope. And so that was really nice. It was hard, especially the first time, 15, away from my family. The one I stayed at, you are not allowed to make phone calls except for 1 night a week. And 1 night a week, your family can come visit you. You can do both, but, that's it. Someone else close to me ended up going inpatient. They were an adult when they went, and we were able to visit them every night. So it just depends on where you go and the kind of treatment model they're following. In the morning, they roll out this big cart. They give you a like flimsy plastic-ish looking toothbrush. You're given a lot of stuff that I'm imagining they give prisoners. You brush your teeth. At night is when everyone showers. So this is what's really interesting. So there are no locks on anything pretty much. If you are able to go in there, there's no lock. So bathroom doors, bedroom doors, all of that. So when you go into shower, no one is allowed in the room, just to like keep things from happening. Also, boys and girls were separated. So you go in, they give you like these little Dixie cups of your soaps. They don't work the best. Your hair gets kind of funky. I think it's like a 3-in-1 type of situation. You shower and that's it. The shower curtain, I don't quite remember, but I remember it was like stuck to, like, I've never seen anything like it. Like, there was no way you were gonna rip it down. There's no way. I mean, or maybe it was like an, I don't remember. Also, I remember the second time I went, I ended up taking a really long shower. And so one of the nurses knocked on the door and was like, hey, like, I'm just checking on you. Like, it's been more than 10 minutes. We have to come check on you type of situation. You're fed 3 meals a day. The cooks there were really wonderful. They made us a lot of homemade stuff. And you get a snack before bed. And they always have stuff for you to snack on too if you get hungry. Your medication is closely monitored. I don't believe that you are allowed to refuse. I think at adult mental hospitals you might be allowed to. I don't quite know, but here you had to swallow and then do the whole tongue thing. Every morning also they weighed you, so you had to step on the scale backwards. So this is what's interesting too. Where I went, there were girls with eating disorders, people that wanted to kill themselves, girls that had gotten in trouble, and boys for, like, they were on their way to juvie type of situation, or they just gotten out of juvie and they did something stupid. So there was also quite a bit of fighting, and especially from the boys, and there was like people being tackled by workers, and put in like rooms, like safe rooms where you could like hear them yelling. This wasn't all the time, but my first time I was like, oh my God. The nurses, excuse me, were super sweet. One of the times I went, we went to the gym and we would like work out and hang out. The first time I was enrolled in school there. The second time I wasn't. The second time, if I would have been enrolled, I could have lost some of my like credits from the high school, and that's where it's different for everything. It's super weird. Basically your schoolwork is like crossword puzzles and stuff, like super easy, because you're there to get help. So they're not going to be like, here, do these like 60 math problems in under 3 minutes. Like, no, it's nothing like that. A lot of the girls were really sweet. I enjoyed like hanging out with them. The second time I went, I actually knew one of the girls that was in. So in a way, I am imagining that's a bit what prison feels like kind of having everything like taken from you, and like you can only have certain things, but at the same time, you're there to get help. The first time I cried a lot. I wanted to go home when my parents came to visit me. Like, I did not want to be there. I remember the second time I got into a fight with my parents. I believe I was 16, and I started packing a bag. From what I remember, or maybe I went and told my mom first. I went and told my parents, I need to go inpatient again. Like, I want to kill myself. I need you to take me. And I went in and started packing my bag. And I remember my sister was just so upset. And she's like, no, you don't want to kill yourself. Like, you're being too calm. Like, no, you don't. And that's the thing. People will come to you differently depending on the person when they want to kill themselves. It may be hyperventilating. It may be, I need you to take me somewhere. So it just depends. It varies from person to person. So I started packing my bag with things I knew I could have. My mom called. They had a bed open. She drove me down. And that second time I went was so relaxing. It was a break. I do remember the second time I went, though, they were asking me why I was there. And I said, I was sexually abused for 5 years. We went to court a couple months ago. You know, I'm just not okay. And he goes, well, why'd you let him abuse you for 5 years? And it was a guy asking me this. He goes, you knew better. I was 9 when it started, ho. Like, don't even. I was 14 when I told. And I knew what rape was, but no one ever explained to me, like, molestation. So I was like, well, I know he's not raping me. It must not be wrong. Like, I just remember looking at him. And that is something that I've told people about, like, therapists and stuff. And they're like, you're shitting me. And I'm like, no. That is the one bad thing I do have to say about it. But I think if you want to kill yourself, getting help is the best option. It can be kind of scary going in, and I'm sure as a parent it can be really, really hard to drop your kid off there, but in the end it's keeping them alive. Like, we have no problem like shoving tubes into people to keep them alive. Like, go drop your kid off for a week. Like, pretend it's summer camp. Because it honestly almost is like a summer camp. in a way. Like, we had some group therapy, like a little bit of like one-on-one. I mean, like, each time I went, it was like one round of group therapy, and then I saw a counselor like 2 or 3 times, and they changed my meds. It's not meant to be this super intensive therapy because you're there to get a break, and you're there to kind of reevaluate things. You watch TV, you color with crayons, you eat, you sleep, you just, like, what's nice is it's such a mental break because, like, everything is taken from you in a way, like all your power. They're like, right now you're gonna shower, and here's your soap that you can't hurt yourself with. And right now you're gonna eat, and here's all these things that are super good for you. And right now, you're gonna go to bed. Here's your one pillow and your one blanket. And I found something so comforting about that, just having so much like structure. And not that I didn't have structure at home. It's so hard to describe because even the first time it was really hard. I did sleep well at night, and I did have times during the day where I was just like, wow, it feels good to be here. And there may be people that disagree with what I'm saying about it, but oh my gosh, I think it was one of the best things that I've done for myself, especially at that point. It's not easy to go. It's scary every time. Oh, and the second time I went in, since my parents drove me, a doctor like evaluated me there. They have to ask you, like, do you want to kill yourself? Do you have a plan? Like all these standard questions, evaluate how high of a risk you are, type of situation, and if you actually need to be there. So that's the thesis. It's nothing super crazy. I'm sure there's people that have been to worse ones, people that have been to better ones. I would say mine had some ups and downs to it. Nowhere is perfect. But yeah, that's all I have to say. That is my story. That's what it was like. And yeah, it's so crazy. Another thing, you can't even have like chapstick. You can't have chapstick on your person. You have to get it from the nurse's station. Because I guess you can hurt yourself with chapstick. Like, you are literally not given anything. Like, there is no room for you to do some dumb shit. And I'm meaning that in a way, like, I don't know. That could be taken kind of offensively. I'm just saying, like, there's no room for you to hurt yourself. Which I think is a good thing. So that's why you're there. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Not all of my videos are like this aesthetic. I don't even know if it's an aesthetic. And I mean, no makeup me is kind of just a thing on my YouTube. If you want to see what I look like with makeup, you can check me out on Instagram. But yeah, I'm gonna get ready to have them here. I have a fun girls' night in. Fun fact, I've had this shirt for 6 years. It says "On Earth as It Is in Heaven" in this really cool lettering, and it is worn like so thin. I got it in 8th grade, and it is just like my favorite t-shirt. I went on like this church group trip for a couple days, and we went to like a different town, and went to like this Christian like worship conference thing where there were pastors and bands, and it was just so much fun. And I got this t-shirt, and I just love it, and I love all the memories attached to it, and I just want to get rid of it. So and it's like broken in, so I'm probably gonna wear it until it's like falling apart. Yes, so that's everything. If you guys want to subscribe, or if you're like, she's kind of cool, not sure, click my picture, go check out my whole channel. I got a whole thing for y'all. Making YouTube videos is my hobby. I love, like, I just hope I'm a positive person in your day-to-day life. So that's what I want to be for y'all. So subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I hope y'all have a wonderful, blessed, marvelous, fantabulous day. Bye, guys.